Present, ma'am.
Yeah. 1 second. Benita. Benita is there? She's not there. Bhargavi. Bhargavi is also not there. Bhavishya.
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra.
Present, ma'am.
Debmalai. Diksha. Deepika.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Deepika.
Present, ma'am.
Murli Krishna. Gangubai.
Present, ma'am.
Ujia. Harshit.
Present, ma'am.
Junar.
Present, ma'am.
Kavya.
Present, ma'am.
Kishore. Lata.
Yes, ma'am.
Manisha.
Present, ma'am.
Manjunath.
Yes, ma'am.
Nayana, no. Nishant.
Present, ma'am.
Pavitra.
Present, ma'am.
Maithili.
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka.
Present, ma'am.
Pavan. Akash.
Present, ma'am.
Rajeshwari.
Present, ma'am.
Rakesh. Ramya.
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Ravi. Rizwan.
Present, ma'am.
Vishal.
Present, ma'am.
Savita.
Yes, ma'am.
Shruti.
Present, ma'am.
Sneha.
Yes, ma'am.
Spurti.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Srinidhi. Srinivas.
Present, ma'am.
Sunil.
Present, ma'am.
Vaishnavi.
Present, ma'am.
Vinny.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. So in the last class,
Ma'am, Diksha, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
who is present?
Diksha, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Marked. Why you people were late? Benita. Yes, marked.
24, ma'am. BY series. Sure.
Kishore. Yeah, marked. Okay, at the end, once again, I'll call.
17.
At the end, I'll call again, once again. You remind me. Okay. Okay. So now we'll start with the last class. We have started with the algebra operations. It's getting cut. Okay, we'll see. So algebra operations from a set theory. And we have seen this union operation. We have two relation R and S. So in this relation, what we do is relation R, relation S. And what is union operation? R union S. Relation here in this term, we call it as a table. In general, informally, we call it as a table R, table S. Whereas with respect to relational algebra, we have to call it as a relation R and relation S. So then alpha 1, so alpha 1, Union means all the elements which are present in relation. With respect to match, we can call it a set, or with respect to relation, we call it as a relation. All tuples which are present in relation R, as well as all tuples which are present in relation S, should be there in R union S. So that case we have seen alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 3. All these are present in this, and redundant elements will be removed. That is alpha 2 is present in both, so it has been removed. That is a union operation. And we have seen how to represent that. We are using what is a symbol we have seen in the last class. And we have seen in case we have a social security number of an all employee who are either working in department 5 and whose salary is greater than, who is a supervisor for that particular employee. So in this case, we have seen, first we have to fetch using, we have seen select, pi, and rename. So this is select. Select means what you are selecting? You are selecting all the rows. So select all the rows from an employee table, employee relation, who are working for department 5. That you store it in a one more table name called as a relation name called as a department 5 employee. And from this table, fetch those columns. Which columns I want? Only SSN. SSN is what? Social security of the employee. That store it in result 1. So then select same table, department 5, and select who is a supervisor. So here SSN in result, what it will be there? All employees who are working. And this is like HOD, and these are like all staff members who are there in MCA. And this is super SSN is one HOD. So and you combine both, you will get a result of the thing. So that's what you can see, result 1, result 2. And combine both two, this is what the union says to us. So in the same way, set difference. Set difference means what? Minus. So the minus here, R is one relation, S is another relation. So R minus S. So all elements which are present in R, represent them. And which are not there, don't worry, which are there in S, you remove them. So then the alpha 1, alpha 2 is there in S, so no, beta 1. Same like your subtraction. Okay, so then we have seen how to represent the minus sign. And we have seen intersection. What do we mean intersection? Common, which are common for both the relation. So the relation R, we have alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1. So here what we have? Alpha 2, beta 3. So then which rows are common, which tuples are common in both R and S relation? Alpha 2 is common in both. So that we are representing in intersection alpha 2. So in the same way, we have seen about a Cartesian product. Cartesian product means all the elements which are present in R relation and all the elements which are present in S relation should be there in the Cartesian product. So that's the reason you can see A, B are two columns in R and C, D are columns in S. So now start writing all 5 columns A, B, C, D and E. First take first row alpha 1. Then do the Cartesian product with first row alpha 10A. So that's the reason you can see first row is alpha 1, alpha 10A. Similarly alpha 1, beta 10A. So alpha 1, beta 10A. Alpha 1, beta 20B. Alpha 1, beta 20B. Then alpha 1, gamma 10B. So write it. Similarly beta 2 with second row, first row. Second row, second row, second row, third row, second row, last. Like this you combine, this is what is called as a Cartesian product, or it is also called as a cross product. So how do we represent? We represent in the into 3. So Cartesian product operation notation R into S defined as R into S, T and Q, T belongs to R and Q belongs to S. Assume that the attributes of R and S of S are disjoint, that R intersection S. So that's how we write Cartesian product operation. So then we see about one example, that is what is called as a banking example. So in the banking example or banking database or a relation, so we have so many tables. That is branch is one relation. What is the attributes in branch? Branch name, branch city and assets. Then there is one more relation called as a customer. What are the attributes in the customer? Customer name, customer street and customer only. Then account, account number, branch name and balance. In loan relation, loan number, branch name and account. In depositor, depositor name, account number. And in browser, we have a customer name and a loan number. So these are the relations present in the database called as a banking example. And now I want you people to say find all loans over $120. So how do you write? What operator, relational operator we have to use? Pi, sigma, union, intersection. Which one should I use? What I want, what is the question they are saying? Find all loans over 12,000. So what is a relation we have to select? We have to select a relation loan. And what they want? What they want? The amount in a loan who has taken more than 1,200. Those details we want here. So to write this, what is the operator you are using? Pi or sigma? Anyone? Which operator you are using? Pi or sigma? Anyone has to respond. Which operator you are going to use? I want rows. So if I want to fetch rows, which operator we are using? Sigma or pi? Anyone? So if you're not answering, I think I have to stop here, because I don't know whether you people are responding or not, whether you're able to understand or not. Anyone? Find all loans over 12,000. What is the answer for this?
Sigma, ma'am. Sigma we use.
Yes, correct. So sigma, from which table, what is the attribute we want? Amount. So in the loan table, you can see they have told who have taken the loan amount greater than 1,200. So we have to select which column? Amount column. So that's the reason you can see sigma, amount greater than 1,200, from which table or which relation? Loan relation. So this is a query you have to write in a relational algebra. So like this in your exam, they may give you some query, some question like this, and they may ask you to write a relational query like this. So you should know whether I have to select row, column, which operator I have to use. Because here they have told rows, means all the employees who have loan greater than 1,200, they want those loans. So then you write here, select what is this? Select what it will do, it will select all the rows. So amount greater than 1,200, from which table? Loan table. Okay. Similarly, find the loan number. So now here we have just taken loan amount who are there, but here I want loan number for each loan of an amount greater than 1,200. So then what do we write? The loan number I want. Which column I want? Loan number. So because it is a column, after this I have selected. After this, what it will give? It will give me all rows which are greater than 12. But I don't want all. I want only one column. What column I want? Loan number. So then we write something like this. I want loan number column where which rows I want, which row is having greater than 1,200, from which table? Loan table. Yes. So this is the query you have to write in a relational algebra. Same way, find the names of all customers who have a loan, an account, or both from the bank. So what we write here? So we have to write what we want, name. So name, from which? Borrower table. And customer, even in a depositor table also we have a customer name. So combine both. That's what here, loan, find the names of all customer who have loan and account or both from the bank. They have loan as well as account. So where in which part we have account should be there as well as there should be a loan. In both the cases, I want the customer name. Means, suppose if I say I have an account in Allahabad Bank and as well as I have a loan, I want those people name. So then we have to use a union. Then the same way, find the names of all customers who have an loan and an account at a bank. So what we write? So same way, intersection, both. You should know union and intersection. Union means all. Intersection means which are common in both borrower. there will be some people who have account in Allahabad Bank, but they don't have loan. But I want those names of employees who have account in Allahabad as well as have the loan in Allahabad. So in that case, both. I should have account as well as loan. Those people I want. So that is how you get here intersection. This is union means what? I should have a combination of both. Then I'll get this. This is just intersection. Similarly, find the names of all customers who have an loan at a Peririch branch. So what I have to use? I have to write select what branch name equals to Peririch. From which table? From customer table. So that's what you can see here. Select branch name from Peririch. So from which table? From find all the names of all customer. I want all customer who have loan at a Peririch branch. So then I should say Peririch branch name equals to Peririch. Then I want customer names. Then what it should match? It should match from borrower loan number and loan number should be same. From which two tables? Borrower and loan. So this is what the Cartesian product. So borrower and loan, where you should have a borrow table loan number and loan table loan number should be same. And Peririch branch, the people who have their branch in Peririch, something like the employees, or I want customer names whose branch name is Avalalli. I want all those names. So like this, we have to write the queries for relational algebra. But you should know which one when I have to use. You should read the query 2 or 3 times, then see how to apply them. They will give you the relation. So now in this example, in this question, these are the relations we have. We have branch is one relation, customer, account, loan, depositor, and borrower. And you see which are the columns which is primary key, which are the columns which have a foreign keys. So in customer name is a primary key. In branch name is a primary key. Account number is a primary key. Loan number is a primary key. Depositor, there is no primary key, but it is having 2 foreign keys, one from customer, one from account. And borrower, also the same thing. There is no primary key, but these 2 are foreign keys. So first you should know how what are the tables, what are the relations we have, how all these are related, because I need to fetch some data out of this only. So that's the reason you have to go through and write all these. Okay, now come back the second one. Find the names of all customer who have a loan at a Peririch branch but do not have an account at a branch of the bank. Means I should have a loan. I don't want account. So those people names I want. So what we have branch name should be Peririch only, but I'll be using subtraction. Why? Because do not have an account. The same what we have done at before. Take the same query minus depositor, because we don't want account there, but do not have an account at any branch of the bank. So that's the reason this subtraction. So what you have written earlier, that query minus depositor table, then you'll get this query. Okay, next one, find the names of all customers who have a loan at a Peririch. What I'm writing? Loans, I just want to have a loan at a Peririch branch. So how do we write? Same way, just now we have written, but a Cartesian product. So same thing. So how I can write? Either you can write like this or you can write like this. Both are one and the same. So that's what we just told. It is a commutative. Commutative means first you do one operation, then do next operation, or you do reverse also, it is okay. So that's what here, the same case here also. First, you can do a equal operator, then comparison operator. What is the equal operator? Loan number and borrower loan number should be equal, or branch name should be Peririch. This you can do in any way. Order, commutative means I can do first operation plus, then minus, Or if I do minus and plus, it will be same. That's what here this query says to us. Either you can write the first query 1 form or query second 2, but both will result in the same result. Okay. Now find the largest account balance and rename account relation as D. So what we want? We want largest account balance. Suppose you, how many you are? 51 students are there. Every one of you have account, but I want to know who has more amount in their bank. So that's what here largest account balance. So student who is having 2 lakhs in the account, I want that student name and rename that student with his name. Yes. So that's what the query says to us. So how to write? So account balance from account table, take that and check whether the balance of that account table is greater than the balance. Yes, first what we are doing, rename, we have to rename. That's what they have told, even rename the account. So after fetching, you can do part by part or you can combine everything. So then first what? Account balance. I want column, one column. Which column I want? Balance column. From which table? Account table. Minus. So what I am doing? In that I want to select only those rows where the balance is greater than account balance. Only those rows. Now I have first I have selecting column balance column. In that balance column, I don't want all balance. Now you are 51. I am fetching all your balance column, but I don't want all balance. What I want which is largest. So then compare that with the which one has a balance greater. Then from where? From account. After you fetch everything, rename that account. So for renaming, this is a operator what we are using. Rename the particular account. Okay. So now the formal definition of the relation. A basic expression in the relational algebra consists of either one of the following: a relation in the database, a constant relation. Let E1 and E2 be the relational algebra expression. The following are the relational algebra expression. What is E1? E1 is one relation expression. Union, another relational expression. I can do union with the expressions, or I can do a subtraction with the expressions. What is this expression is? I can say A plus B. This E2 I can say A minus B. So I can do both. Even the expressions also I can do union. With respect to expressions, I can do subtraction. With respect to Cartesian, I can do expression. And I can do P is a predicate on attributes in E1. And pi of S of E1. S is the list consisting of some of the attributes in E1. And this also we can do. What is this? The rename. So we are renaming the operation. Next we move on to a binary relational operator. What is binary? Binary means 2. Unary means only one relation. I am doing any operation on only one table, one relation. Then we call it as a unary. When do we call binary? When we are doing some operations on 2 table or 2 relation. So what are the binary relational operators operations available? We have natural join, division, and assignment. We'll see one by one. So what is natural join? Natural join means combining both the tables. What is the symbol we are using? This is a symbol which is used for natural join. Again, you have to remember there are so many joins here. What is a natural join? Natural join, we are using this symbol. R is one table or relation. Natural join with S table. So let R and S be relation on schema R and S respectively. Then R relation S is a relation of schema R union S obtained as the following. Consider each pair of tuples TR. What is T? T is a tuple from which relation? R relation. And what is T? T is a tuple from which relation? S relation. T, R and TS have the same value on each of the attributes in R intersection S. Add a tuple T to the result where T has the same value as TR and T has the same value as TM. So let us take an example. Suppose R is having A, B, C, A, B, C, D. S is having E, B, D. And the result of this natural join. So resultant schema will be A, B, C, D and E. So B is repeated, we are not keeping. D is repeated, we are not keeping. So this is what called as a resultant schema we generally do. Whereas with respect to natural join, R, natural join with S is defined as pi, means column. Which column? R into A, R into B, R into C, R into D, and S into E. So what are, you just remove non-repeated one. B is repeated, I don't want to write 2 times. D is repeated, we are not going to write. So then A, B, C, D and E are there in pi. Then select. So what we want to select? Select B is equal to B. Here in relation R we have B, in relation S we have B. So then compare both with one table R, one table with S. Along in the same way, D is also should be same. D and S should be same. Then what is this? R Cartesian product S. Then this is what is called as a natural join. In natural join, what we are doing? All the elements which are present in R and all the elements which are present in S, you will be using them. But if there are repetition, if there is redundancy, we write only one time. That is what is called as a natural join. Let us take an example. So now, in the natural join, you have a relation R. So how many columns we have? A column, B column, C column, D column. Then we have a S relation. What is there in S relation? B we have, D we have, E we have. So what is there in A? Alpha 1, alpha A. So then you write all which are there in A, B, C and D. So natural join, how do we do natural join? Alpha 1, alpha A and B, 1 is already there. In D, A is already there. In E, alpha is there. So write the first one, alpha 1, alpha A, alpha. Okay, so come to next one, alpha 1, alpha A, then 3A beta. So now what did we do in the last join? We have taken A, B, B is repeated here, B is repeated and D is also repeated. So when there is a repetition, combine A should be equal to B and D should be equal to R of D should be equal to S of D. Write all those. So alpha 1, alpha A, alpha, alpha 1, alpha A, theta, because here also there is a value and here also there is a value. Alpha 1, gamma A, alpha. C is one which I have to write. So then alpha 1, gamma A, alpha, theta 2, beta B, theta. So that's how we have to write relation R, relation S. So this is what is called as a natural join. So what is natural join? R, natural join S. So then next, this was a natural join. So now we come to a division. So what is division operator? Same way how we do it with the division. Similarly, suited to a query that include the phrases for all. Means what? What is a division says to us? For all. Let R and S be the relation on schema R and S respectively, where R equal to so many attributes A1 to AM, B1 to BM. Then what is there in S? B1 to BM. The result of R division S is the relation on the schema R minus S, A1 to A, something like this. So what did we do? R, BB will be get cancelled. So how to write with this relation algebra R, relation algebra S, all the tuples, all the columns R minus S of R, what is this symbol? And for all, what is this symbol represent? For all. For all U belongs to S and TU belongs to R. This relation should be satisfied when we are saying a division operator. Let us take an example. Here in this case, you can see R is one relation, S is another relation. I want R division S. So you can take, so what is alpha, alpha, alpha is there. So in this B, what is there? 1, 2. 1, 2 is there. And here, so alpha 1 divided by 1. So 1, 1 get cancelled alpha. Alpha 2 divided by 2. 2, 2 get cancelled alpha. Alpha is already there. Alpha 3 divided by 2. So that will not come because we can't. Beta 1, 1. So 1, 1 get cancelled beta. Gamma, no. So like this, we keep doing it, and the division operation will lead us only for alpha and beta. All the elements which are there in R and which are there in beta. Same way, another way of division. So now we have A, B, C, D, E, R, and we have D and E in S. So what do we do? R division S. So alpha A gamma, gamma A gamma. So that's how we keep doing it. So because DE is A1 get cancelled, B and 1 get cancelled, and rest of them will be alpha A gamma. So those which are there left over, that you write it, that is what is called as a division operator. So how do we represent the division operator? We represent as Q. We represent something like R division S. What is Q? Q is a largest relation satisfying Q into Q cross product S, always a subset or always equal to R. So defining in terms of the basic algebra operation, R of R and S of S be relation, and let S subset of R. So then how should I write? We write something like this: RS minus relation minus RS relation, R minus then into the cross product R relation. So this is how we represent one more division format. This is simple reorder attributes of R. Gives two tuples, give those tuples in T such that some tuples of U belongs to S and TU not in R. So next is assignment operator. So what do we do with the assignment operator? The assignment operator, this is a symbol which we use for assignment operator, provides a convenient way to express a complex queries. If I have very complex and I want to make it simpler one, then we use something called as a assignment operator. So write a query as a sequential program consisting of a series of assignments followed by an expression whose value is displayed as a result of query. Assignment must always be made to a temporary relational variable. So something like R, what is this? We have done division operator. So what we are doing? Assigning. So this we are assigning for one temporary variable, temp1. So and the half of the other relation we are assigning to temp2, and subtraction of these two will be the result, that we are storing it in a result. So this what we are doing, this is what is called as a assignment operator. The result of the right of the is assignment and the relation variable on the left. So this is the value which is assigned to the temp2. This is a value which is assigned to temp1. So with respect to relational algebra, find all the customers who have an account from at least the downtown and uptown branches. So how do we write? So we write, I want all the customer names who has account where we want at least branch name should be downtown from both depositor and account. So what is this? Natural join. Intersection, why intersection? Because both the things you want, downtown and uptown. So then customer name who has an account or a branch in the branch called as uptown, from where? From both the tables or relation, depositor, natural join, account. These two will give me customer name who have branch name from a particular thing. The same query can be written like this also. So you can say branch name, customer name and branch name from which table both depositor, join both depositor and account, divided by, here we have used division operator, here we have not used, but we have used natural join twice and one time intersection. So here we have used division, a branch name, downtown and uptown. So these two branch, it should be in a branch, and those customer names and branch names we want. Next, find all the customers who have an account at all branches located in Broccoli city. So I want customer names who has their account at all branches where they're in a city called as a Broccoli, they want the particular account. So then what do we write? Project, customer name and branch from depositor natural join account, divide by which branch, it should be Broccoli branch. So this is one way of writing. So those were about natural joins. So next we further move on. Additional relational algebra operation. One is called as a generalized projection. Next is outer join, and another other operation is an aggregate function. First we see about a generalized projection. So extending the projection operation by allowing arithmetic functions to be used in a projection list. So we have just, in the projection operator, what did we do? I can only select the column, but why can't I do operations on the particular column? That's what is called as a generalized projection. So now here pi, this is a operator used for projection. F1, F2, F3, these are the arithmetic expressions what I want to do on a relation E. E is any relational algebra expression, each of which F1, F2, etc. F1 are arithmetic expression involving constants and attributes in the schema of E. So given the relation credit info, that is customer name, limit, credit balance, find how much more each person can spend. So that's what here, what I want project, which columns I want customer name, and I want limit minus credit balance. So this is a arithmetic expression, what I'm getting, what is my limit. Suppose you think that I have an account and what based on my salary, they'll give me this much is a amount, this much is a loan we can give you. And what is the balance I have? So that minus will give me, this is what is from a credit info. In the same way, we may use sometime combination. So now I want to know in your class, out of 51 students, who got a maximum value in DBMS and who got a minimum, and I want to know what is the average. I want to know how many people have written test 1, and I want to count each of them. So in that case, we use something called as a aggregate function. So what is this aggregate function? Takes a collection of values and returns a single value as a result. It will take now average. So what we are doing, average of all of your values, and it will give me AVG. So these are the built-in functions which we use in our calculation. Then in case I want to know who got less values in DBMS, then we have a built-in function called as a minimum. In the same way, I want to know who got maximum marks in the DBMS, then I have a built-in function called as a max. The same way, I want to know sum. So I have we are doing test 1, test 2, test 3. Then I want to calculate sum of test 3. Then we use a sum function. Then I may use a count function. I want to know how many of you are absent for test 1. Then I have to use a count function. Then I'll be using count function. These function we call it as a aggregate function. So what is this aggregate function will do? It will take collection of values. So now test 1, test 2, test 3. What are these? 3 tests. Then it will calculate and give me count as 3. So that's how here it will take collection, but it will return me only 1. So that's what is a aggregate function. So then how do we do the operations and aggregate function? In relational algebra, we represent something like this: G1, G2, G3, small g, F1, attribute 1, F2, attribute 2. Like this, we keeps on a relation. So what is E? E is a relational algebra expression. What is G1, G2, G2? Till Gn is a list of attributes on which group you want to apply. Then what is Fi? It is an aggregate function. What is A? Attributes. So now let us do one operation by operation. Aggregate operator. So I want to do a sum of all these. So then what we, on which relation R, I want to do the sum of all this. 7 plus 7, 14, 14 plus 3, 14 plus 3 is how much? 17, 17 plus 10 is how much? 27. So that's what here, G sum of C of relation R will give me 27. So what function we have used? We have used a function, aggregate function called as a sum. So in the same way, aggregate function can be applied a sum for your relations also. Now I want, what is the total amount available in the bank? Yes. So then what I'll do, branch name, then sum, balance and account. So in Perry Ridge branch, these are the two accounts. 9 plus 14 is 1300. So then Brington. So 750 is how much? 15. So this will. Redwood, because there is only one. So right. So what did this give me? The balance in each branch. In Avaleli Allahabad Bank, how much is the balance? In Yelahanka Allahabad Bank, how much is the branch? So like this, we do a based on the branch, what is the balance? So then what did we do? We used a sum function, sum of balance. From which table? From account table. So different branches. So like this, we can use a inbuilt functions for doing the calculations. So result of the aggregation does not have the name. So we can do a aggregate function. So in the same way, outer join. So what do we mean by outer join? An extension of join operation that avoids less of information, computes the join and then adds tuples from one relation that do not match the tuple in another relation to the result of the join. So what is outer join? So uses null value. Null signifies that the value is unknown or does not exist. All comparisons involving null are false by definition. We'll study precise meaning of comparison with the null. But let us do one small example, then I think it will be clear for you. Relation loan. So this is a loan. What is in relation? What are the attributes you have? We have loan number, branch name and account. So in the relation borrower, what are the values we have? Customer name and a loan number. So I want to do a inner join and left outer join. So what is the outer join you are doing? So you are taking these two. So then in that outer join also, we have something called as a inner join and left outer join. So what we do, loan and borrower. So loan, take from a loan relation and borrower relation, do a inner join. So loan number, branch name, amount and customer. So this is what inner join. In the same way, here also we have, but this is with respect to, so you can see here we got only two, whereas in this case we got one more. Why? Because we have done with the left outer join. So we can just check out with the loan table and borrower table where what are the values, then these are the values which says to us left outer join. When you do just inner join, these are the two common rows which are present in loan as well as in borrower. Whereas in left outer join, so this is one extra which is there in the loan relation but not in the borrower relation. Same way, right outer join. So in these two are common, but in this borrower, there is extra one, that is L51. So that we are adding here. That is what is called as a right outer join. Then full outer join. Can anyone say what is full outer join? Along with L170, L230, we'll be having L260 and L55. How many rows we'll be having? We should have a 4. That's what here you can see. Yes, so this is what is called as a full outer join. So I think it should be clear. So loan in an inner join means which are common in both loan as well as borrower. Those two are there. Left outer join means only common but present in loan, those rows. And outer join, right outer join means present in both but present even in a borrower, these two. Full outer join present in both loan common as well as present in loan as well as present in borrower. So then we'll get a 4 rows when you are doing a full outer join. This is what is called as a full outer join. So the null value, when I don't know the values, then definitely I'll represent it as a null value. Suppose let me say in your class, you have so many people, but I don't know all 51 people's mobile numbers. So then what I may know 1 or 2 people. Then if I don't know what I'll write null value. So that's what here the null value is doing. It is possible for tuples to have a null value denoted by null for some of their attributes. Null significance as unknown value or that value does not exist. So the result of any arithmetic expression involves null is null. Aggregate function simply ignores null values. So if you are using any sum, and in that case, if you have null, that will be considered as a 0. In an arbitrary decision, could have returned null as a resulted instead. So in SQL, what we do handling with the nulls. For duplicate elimination and grouping, null is treated like any other value and 2 nulls are assumed to be the same. So if I have 2 nulls, then I can see both are same. So then what we do here, comparison with null values, return a special truth known as unknown. If false was used instead of unknown, that not a less than equal to 5. We could even write would not be equivalent to a greater than or equal to 5. We cannot write like this. So three value logic using a truth values as unknown. Unknown or true, it is true. Unknown or false is unknown. Unknown is unknown. And operator, when we are using and operator, true, you would have seen truth tables, right? So if 0, 0, then 0, if it is a OR case. If it is AND case, both should be 1, 1, then only it will be true. That's what here we have done. So not known means unknown. That's what the result of this null values. In the same way, I want to modify in your database. So we have something called as the contents of the database may be modified using the following operation. Either I can delete. So today in your class in third semester, in your second semester, 3 more people were there. Now they left. So then I have to delete them. So that then we may use a delete operation. Then insert. Maybe next year, your first semester students will come. Then we have to insert them. Okay, initially I was not knowing your phone numbers. Later I have to update your phone numbers. Then we use a command called as a update. All these operations are expressed using the assignment operator. We'll see this one by one, delete, insert, update in the next class. So I'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. And people who have joined late can answer. Bhargavi?
Present, ma'am.
Deb Malay?
Present, ma'am.
Last class you were absent, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Murli Krishna?
Present, ma'am.
Gudiya?
Present, ma'am.
Nayana? Nilanjan? What happened to Nilanjan? Why he is not attending? Pavan? Rakesh? Ravi?
Yes, ma'am.
Srinidhi?
Present, ma'am.
Okay. So hope so you'll be knowing that your internals will be on 5th, 6th and 7th of September. And we don't know how will be the internals. The higher authorities will decide how they have to conduct the internals, left to them. But I'm just reminding you people, you'll be having internals on 5th, 6th and 7th. So for your internal syllabus will be first unit and second unit till where I'll be covering. So that's about your syllabus for your first and second unit. So then I have mailed you in your classroom. You have your module 1 syllabus. You can just go through there.